Hey, okay, so this is the battle report I did with the Chaos a couple days ago. Basic deployment, turn one. So far left, I've got my unit of questing knights, 5 questing knights, full command. Lord on the Pegasus has a bunch of challenge stuff. You got the Gauntlet of the Duel, the Warrior Bane, which gives him the attack if I do a wound. The person loses 1 attack per wound I do, and I have the Virtue of Confidence, which means I can re-roll all to hit and wounds to challenges. So he's nasty in a challenge. Then I've got 2 squads of 15 men-at-arms with standard and musician. Don't have the champion because it's useless in men-at-arms. Then I got the damsel level 2 behind them as the lore of life, and I got the regrowth spell and the one in the woods, the wild in the woods or something like that. The one that if they're within the woods they take 2d6 wounds, and if they're not they take d6 wounds. 16 bowmen, no skirmishers, so they have the defensive spikes. First squad of knights is the Knights of the Realm, 8 Knights of the Realm with the BSB in it, with the War Banner and the Virtue of Duty, which if my general's alive I get +1 combat res, so that's my nasty unit. It's as soon as I get on the charge, my combat res is initially 5 or so because of the 2 ranks and the BSB in it. Then I have the 8 Knights of the Realm, or 8 Knights of Knights Errant, and since I'm doing the what do you call it? Sticking with the fluff of my army, I've got my Knight Errant Neil in there, so I'm still sticking with that. If you remember what I played before, and I'm doing the move up through the ranks, so I'll start as a Knight Errant, then the Knight of the Realm, then questing, and then finally Grail Knight, so I can get to be a Lord or a Paladin maybe. And then off to the far right, if you can see it, I've got my Trebuchet. That one didn't really help me, but that's what I've got in this battle so far. So this is Chaos deployment. Far left, he's got his Knights of Chaos, full command with the Ruin Swords or whatever they are. That was a nasty unit, but I was afraid of that. And then next to it, there's a squad of 18 Warriors of Chaos, full command. I think they have shields and hand weapons. With the whole army is Mark of Tzeentch, so they have that 5+ ward save, which is disgusting because they get the 3+ armor save and the 5+ ward save. And then he's got his Lord Sorcerer of Tzeentch with the spell familiar, so he automatically got 5 spells, which destroyed me with the magic phase. He got the number 6, the ward, the warp one that I hate, the flickering fire, and he got pandemonium and some other one he didn't even use. And then he's got his chariot off to the far right. He's got another squad up in that. It's basically the Watchtower mission, but we use that middle Chaos Shrine as the Watchtower, so he got to put his core unit, another squad of 18 Warriors of Chaos with full command in it. So he started off with control of the Watchtower, and that was what I had to take as the objective. So the person who overtook the objective at the end of the game won the game. So Chaos turn 1. Not much happened. Magic phase was useless because I was so far out of the range, but he just moved up and still had control of the Watchtower, so he could not move that core unit for the first turn because he had to maintain control of it. But he basically just moved up and got his knights closer, ready off to the charge the next turn, and the warriors moved up, and the sorcerer stayed in that little grotto area so he can stay with the fences and still cast magic. So we move on to Brett turn 1. I moved the questing knights up, and that standard bear in the questing knights is still in the unit, but he just wouldn't stand up, so I moved him. My lord charged way the hell forward over there to see if I can get his chariot and hopefully pass it by to get to his sorcerer and get him in a challenge and just destroy him in that challenge. But if you see later, it never happened. So first turn I tried to charge the knights. Failed both charges with the Knights of the Realm and the Knights Errant. And the Knights of the Realm also had the banner of swiftness, so I got +1 movement, and I still failed the charge. And the Knights Errant had the Errantry banner, which gives them +1 strength on the charge. So that pretty much took them out of turn 1. Wasn't happy about that, but you know, that's just how it goes. So we move on to Chaos turn 2. As you can tell, his Knight unit is not there anymore. He charged my Knight Errant unit, and I fled, and he redirected the charge and clipped my Knights of the Realm. So they got into the battle with that. And then he charged his chariot into my questing knights. And also, you look over there, there is a man-at-arms in place of my lord. The magic phase, his sorcerer destroyed my Pegasus and took it out of the game, so I was now movement 4. So moving in a challenge was hard to get to now, but I would get to him eventually. And also during the magic phase, my damsel had the feedback scroll. I really wanted that lord dead. So I feedback scrolled on him when he used the warp spell or whatever that is, and caused 3 wounds on him, and his Mark of Zinch saved all but 1. So all those dice he cast, he still only got 1 wound, take him down, and he cast Irresistible Force to get that spell off, but it miscast anyway, and he also took another spell away, so he didn't get to cast that, and he got brought down to a level 3 sorcerer. So I was really happy about how that magic phase went. But even more, the Knight unit over there, he charged my Knights of the Realm, and I thought I was going to be wiped out. But luck held it out for the Brets, and I beat him in combat res because I didn't do a single wound with the Knights, and he didn't do a single wound to me. I saved all of them, even on a 5 or 6 armor save, or maybe it was 4 armor save, because of he didn't have lances, but I think it was a 4 up armor save. And I saved all of them, and in the end, a horse got a wound on one of the Knights, and he rolled a 1, and destroyed a Knight. A horse kicked him in the face and took him down. And so I killed 1, he didn't kill any, and by sheer combat res, I wiped him out and ran him down. And got right up to his Warriors of Chaos unit, so I was going to charge them next turn and hopefully rally my Knights Errant and bring that around. So that BSB just saved the day and wiped out his Chaos Knights. I felt pretty good about that. I wasn't expecting any of that to happen, but it turns out that that BSB just, it wrecks people. Okay, so move on to Brett turn 2. Also you can tell, there's a Chaos, a Warriors of Chaos unit gone. I ended up charging the Warriors of Chaos. Didn't do a single wound back to him. He'd caused a wound to me, but by sheer combat res in that BSB, he failed his leadership, and I took him down. He was minus on the leadership, but was he steadfast? I think he was steadfast, but he still rolled 11, or 10 or 11 on the leadership, and rolled a 5 or 6 to run away, and I ran him down an inch or so over, and ran down the full unit of Chaos Knights, or Chaos Warriors, and again, the Brett just got lucky on that one. So we move over to the Questing Knights. The Chariot charged the Questing Knights, and they were stuck since last combat. Didn't do a single wound to them. I got 1 wound back on him, but he held in combat. So this round, I charged my Lord in there. So I got a flank charge off, and the Questing Knights again did not do a single wound back. My Lord didn't do a single wound. I think one of the horses again brought another wound, so he was down to 1 wound or 2 wounds, and my Lord has taken a wound. And I was not happy about how the Questing Knights were holding out in that one. Warriors of Chaos in the middle are still holding on strong. Trebuchet and my archers were not doing a damn thing the whole battle. They were just shooting around. And that's I'm playing with some fluff that I have Robin Hood in one of my archers, and every turn I shot, Robin had hit and wounded at least 1 Chaos Warrior, but he made his 3-up armor save because that's ridiculous. And my men-at-arms moved up a little bit, but they don't want to charge that Warriors of Chaos unit without some backup, so I just left them alone. Magic, I didn't do anything because my regrow spell didn't have to do anything because I didn't lose anybody within range, and the wood spell didn't go off and cause a wound. So that was not that wasn't fun for me.